All right, this article is coming from fxstreet.com, and I like the title. I like macro themes, USD and CAD to weaken versus major European currencies over the next couple of months. All right, so there's your fundamental type headline. Economists at Bank of Montreal analyzed US and CAD versus European currencies. They expect the Fed and the Bank of Canada to pause to put near-term ceilings on the U.S. and CAD, so they're saying a pause on interest rate hikes versus the major European currencies over the next couple of months, while central banks in the region pursue tighter monetary policies. They're talking about the um, European or the euro rates. You have other countries as well. You have the uh, Germany. You have the British pound. Um, Further out in 2023, we expect a portion of the strength in the European currencies to evaporate as the lagged impact of tightening feeds through to growth. All right. Um, there are also economic hard landing risk in Europe if central banks have a more difficult time bringing inflation back to acceptable rates. However, one of the biggest areas of uncertainty for the FX market is timing. There are near-term upside risks to the U.S. dollar and CAD versus European currencies if expectations for weaker economic growth in the region are brought forward, or if the U.S. deals with a persistent bid due to risk-off conditions in financial markets. All right. So what I'm going to do is analyze a pair that I don't think gets really analyzed a bunch. I can do US, I can do the Euro, USD, Euro CAD. Um, the pound is a one of the higher volume type currencies, but I'm going to choose the CAD versus the Swiss franc, right? A pair that's I don't think really is looked at a lot. All right, so when I go to the monthly chart, um, you can see price broke this monthly uptrend line last year in September. Um, Regarding the pair, it does continue to decline, right? Going back to 2007, it was in a wide range for about 5 years. Started to climb. All right, this was the pandemic lows. Started to climb. Um, Also, this is probably when we had the drop in oil too, when oil went negative. So it started to climb um, as we were getting out of the pandemic. Um, Rates were low, and I think about this time frame, at least Fed Powell started increasing rates, and other G7 countries followed. And so, why did price decline? Well, when the market sold off, the Swiss franc is seen as a safe haven. We had oil also drop, so the Canadian dollar is tied to oil. We've seen oil drop from say 130ish to 60ish, 70ish, while money went into the yen, the US dollar, and the Swiss franc. All right. So we did hit all-time lows, and for the month of May, we have a indecision candle forming at this point. Um, Maybe we're forming a double bottom. Don't know. Confirmation that we are going higher. Well, you want to see the June candle close ideally above the highs of the May candle, but that's some time off. I do see resistance right here at the 0.68 um, level. We also have the 13 simple moving average on the monthly chart turning, and that may serve as a dynamic resistance. All right, let's go down to the weekly chart, and you can see that resistance, right? What was support is now resistance. You can see that price did hit the 13 simple moving average and then pulled away. You also have, we got a close here, so there must have been weekly sellers at that level here. So you had a drop in price, you had one base candle, then the drop to got that pivot low. So when price came back, it's pulling back at the moment. All right, let's go to the daily chart. All right, so if I had to choose a direction, it would be to the downside, only because you have or had, since the price penetrated the zone more than 50%, this level is probably used up, but this was a weekly seller's level. Then you have resistance at the 0.68. So if price is going to go higher, it has to get through and battle these levels here where there are sellers waiting. Now, just zoom back out. So how do we know if we are going to make lower lows? One of the things I like to do at times is when I am trading Forex is to look at the actual currencies. So we're going to look at the Canadian dollar and the Swiss franc. Alright, so this is the Canadian dollar on a monthly chart. And you can kind of see that it's been sideways since September of last year. So it's on the verge of breaking out. There is some sellers here at this level here. We'll go down to the weekly chart just to see what that looks like. Alright, so the CAD has been range bound. Go to the weekly chart, let's see. Yep, not the greatest formation, but nevertheless, potentially, if you get a breakout to the upside, price might hit sellers potentially. There's a lot of trading to the left, so there could be less of an imbalance between buyers and sellers. Yeah, this is the pandemic lows. This is when oil went negative. Okay. So that's the Canadian dollar. Let's look at the Swiss franc. And when we look at the monthly chart, right now, price is in a monthly seller's level. So that's going to serve as resistance. But that might be short-lived in terms of breaking this level in the coming weeks, months. And if price is able to break this zone, you're looking at price potentially moving to retest this pivot high at the 123 level, and that's another 800 in terms of Forex terms, 800 pips. So right now you have a pause on price on the Swiss franc, and you have a indecision on the Canadian dollar. So which one is going to what's going to happen with these two currencies? Don't know. It's going to dictate where the CAD Swiss franc goes. If this pans out where you have price breaking out to the upside, but then being introduced to sellers and then moving down, and if you have price on the Swiss franc, being that it broke this monthly downtrend line, breaking out and breaching and closing above this monthly sellers level, well, if the Swiss franc is going to continue to move high, that means it's going to get stronger. And if the Canadian dollar is going to move lower, that means it's going to get weaker. Then the CAD Swiss franc pair should make lower lows. Now, what would I do if I was taking a trade on this pair? Well, today is Friday. I don't like to take trades and hold them over the weekend unless I'm up at least 100 pips. You know, if price would have came in here, say Sunday, Monday, potentially would have been a nice short. Let's see. Just want to see what this looks like on the 4-hour chart. All right, so this pair did sell off today. Again, it's the weekend, so you have folks taking some profits. How many pips is that away? 97.60. You know, if price can clear this range, prices on this pair is going down further, but that's not the case at this time. Just want to see it was a okay level to get short in the past. Okay, so this would be a nice shorting opportunity up at the point, yeah, 0.68. There's no setup at the moment, but from a macro standpoint, hopefully I gave you enough clarity on how to play this pair moving forward. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.